Hello, today I'm going to be giving a speech on Malcolm X. Here with me today, not in person but on the phone, I have my brother and his girlfriend Rachel.
Hello? Hello.
Alright. Malcolm Little was born in Omaha, Nebraska in 1925. He grew up in poverty and lost his father at a very young age, and his mom was then forced to put him in a foster home. Malcolm then was adopted into a white family where he was very unhappy. They had him going to school where he was near the top of his junior class, but in the beginning of his 8th grade year he decided to drop out after a white teacher had told him his hopes of becoming a lawyer were no realistic goal for a nigger. After dropping out, he moved to Boston to live with his half-sister, and while living there, got into some trouble that caused him to be sent to jail for a few years. But when he finally got out of jail, he started his act upon the civil rights movement. He then decided to change his name from Malcolm Little to Malcolm X because he wanted to replace it to show that he no longer wanted to have a slave name. He then began to protest, and while other blacks were protesting for equality, Malcolm agreed with the separation of white Americans and black Americans. He believed that blacks should be able to have their own society where they can live their lives not treated as slaves. And if they could live separately and happily from the white Americans could also live happily and freely and do the same. Malcolm X was described as one of the most influential people in African American history. He was also someone who brought great self-esteem to the black Americans. It was then in February 1965, on the 21st, that he was assassinated, and he is now recognized for the great leader that he was for many black African Americans. He led other black Americans into fighting for their rights and going for what they believe in. His legacy is ongoing and has inspired millions.